There's too many of us today, we don't know how to war. And we think we're in some kind of spiritual war, but it's just stupid decisions. I've been in some spiritual battles. And you'll know. I was telling y'all this story the other night about here several years ago when I wanted to drink. I'd been free from drinking for 15 years. And some things happened in the church. Church split right down the middle. Some of the closest people that I thought were my closest friends, these people were leading Bible studies, David. These people were going into churches and ministering, going into prisons and ministering the gospel. Some of them I gave them places to live, pulled them off the streets, took care of them, housed them. Did we not, babe? And those are the very people that turned and started going amongst the church and started talking and ripping it apart and ripping it apart. And in the midst of all that, this desire come upon me to want to drink like I've never had before in 15 years. And I share this story with you, and it was dark and it was heavy. And I can truly say that desire to come on me to drink wasn't because I was doing something. And it truly gave me an understanding about the grace of God. Because it was almost like, see, it's the grace of God that causes me not to want to do those things. But it's almost like he lifted his hand up so I'd have an understanding of his grace, that it's only by his grace that I have a desire to serve him. But it almost seemed like that when he lifted that hand up, boom, I wanted to go right back. And it was a battle, and it was a fight, and it was the hardest thing I'd ever been through in my life. It was hard. I told my wife, I said, I need you to pray for me. I told Sean, I need you to pray for me. They were the only two that knew about it. And then with everything going on in the church, I was going to get these people that had done it. There's a few things I had forgotten, but I still knew how to, I don't think I'd forgot how to get some folks. Intuitive knowledge. And I already had it planned out. I was going to get my drink, and I was going to break their jaws. And the reason I was going to break their jaws, I know this sounds bad. If you're out there watching, you're probably saying, I can't believe he's saying that, but I'm just being real with you. Is that okay? I was going to bust their jaws. You know why? Because they wouldn't quit talking, and I was going to make it where they couldn't. That was it. Now, I'm not saying that to be prideful. I'm not saying that for everybody to grab a hold of this and laugh and cut up and joke about it. I'm saying this because this is the battle that I was in, and it was taking every ounce of energy that I had and to stand against it. And I was going to break their jaws, and then I was going to walk in this church, and I was going to step down. That was my plan. And every once in a while, Rick or Sharon would call me, they'd send me a text message saying, don't quit. They don't even recognize what was going on. People were leaving. Whole section over here, not y'all, whole section over here left. You know why? Because I preach out of the Old Testament. Another whole section left. You know why? Because I didn't believe in predestination, where God made you to go to hell, made you to go to heaven, and that's just the way it was. There's nothing you could do about it. Had another whole section leave because we made some changes in praise and worship, and they didn't like it. Church going around and splitting, seeing all this stuff going on, and it was just going, and I'm sitting there going, God, did you even call me to do this? Is this your way of getting me out? Are you finally revealing some things to me that I was too stupid to see? But I said, if I'm going out on my terms. That's where I was. And it got to the point to where the desire to drink was so bad that when I'd go out of town to work, I'd have to take somebody with me. And when I'd take that person with me, I'd call them up and be like, hey, you want to go with me? I ain't got no money. I don't care. I'll buy. I ain't got money for a hotel room. I'll pay for it. I ain't got money for food. I'll buy it. Well, I'm going to miss a couple days of work. Well, I'll pay you for the couple days of work you miss. Here's what I knew. I did not trust myself. Yeah, I know me. I did not trust myself. Paul says I put no confidence in the flesh. And can I go ahead and get a little bit more real with you? And I'm saying this, and some of y'all heard this the other night. But I was to the point where I knew Jesus was so forgiving that I could go ahead and do what I wanted to do. That I'm going to be honest with you. I was afraid that he wasn't enough to stop me. Because I knew I could do what I wanted to do. And I knew I could come to him and cry out for mercy and he'd forgive me. But I knew I could satisfy my flesh first. But then on the flip side of that, there was something on the inside of me going, no, no, no. So I'd call these people up. I'd say, man, just go with me. And they didn't know why they was there. I said, go with me. And they thought I was helping them. But they had absolutely no clue. They was helping me. They was keeping me from going off the edge. Just because that physical person that I would hold myself accountable to was there. I've always told people this. There's only a couple things in life I'm real good at, whether it's in business. But I always tell people in business, you know what I'm really, really good at? Knowing what I'm not good at. And by knowing what I'm not good at, I don't try to do that. I bring people in that are good at that. Does that make sense? And I knew at that time I wasn't going to be good at being alone. I preached a message on forgiveness at a biker rally one night. And the guys that started all this stuff happened to be there that night. I preached a message on forgiveness. As I preached that message on forgiveness, some guys that started all that stuff, they started coming forward and asking me to forgive them. The hardest thing in the world that I had to do was forgive them, but I had to do it by faith. Why? There was a giant in my life right then. I remembered everything they'd done, everything they had said. Our church was ripped apart, right down the middle. All of this stuff going on. People leaving, people talking behind our back, people saying false prophet, people saying this, people saying that. And to those of y'all that stayed, God bless you. Amen. Because it was you that got me through. Not only was it God, but it was you that got me through. Amen. Because when it dropped down to a few people, Clover kept on telling me, what about the 50 or 60 that are still there? What about, I don't know, it may have been 40 at that time. What about the 40 that are still there? Because really, I was to the point where I didn't care. Not saying I didn't care about y'all, but I thought I was too far gone. You know what I mean? I thought God was done with me. And what I really thought is that I never was called, and he was just finally revealing it to me. And you want to talk about a battle that's hard to overcome, it's that one right there. And guess what? Nobody else really knew about it. There's a few people who knew. They'd text Sean, they'd text, don't give up. Sometimes Sharon, she'd just text me out of the blue. She said, Pastor Kevin, I'm praying for you this morning. Just please don't quit. So there were some giants in my life. Now at that time, even though I wanted to quit, even though I wanted to give in, somewhere on the inside of me there was a little bit of light that was breaking through.